The universe is violent. It is a place of colliding galaxies, exploding stars, and chaotic swirls of gas and dust. In this violence, we expect disorder. We expect entropy. Clouds should form organic, shifting shapes. Hurricanes should spiral in imperfect, ragged circles. Nature, we are told, does not do straight lines. And it certainly does not do geometry. Or so we thought. Travel with me to 78 degrees north latitude on Saturn. Here, crowning the planet, lies one of the most disturbing anomalies in the history of astrophysics. It is not a circle, it is a perfect hexagon, a six-sided structure rotating in synchronization with the deep interior of the planet. This is not an optical illusion. This is a jet stream, a river of air, that has decided to become a polygon. It is a storm that has solved a geometry equation. When the Voyager spacecraft first swept past Saturn in the early 1980s, they sent back grainy, confused images of the North Pole. Scientists saw a hint of this shape, but they assumed it was a transient feature, a temporary coincidence of clouds. A fluke. 30 years later, the Cassini spacecraft arrived, and there it was, still spinning, still perfect. On Earth, a hurricane lasts a week. The Great Red Spot on Jupiter has raged for centuries. But this is different. This is a standing wave. It has persisted through the long, dark Saturnian winter, surviving in total darkness for years at a time. It is not just a storm. It is a permanent feature of the planet's anatomy. To truly understand it, you must abandon your terrestrial intuition. The numbers here are so large they border on the abstract. The hexagon is approximately 30,000 kilometers wide. Let me put that in perspective. You could fit 2 entire Earths inside this structure, and they wouldn't even touch the walls. And it is not just wide, it is deep. On Earth, our weather is a thin film clinging to the surface. But this storm extends nearly 300 kilometers down into the crushing gloom of Saturn's atmosphere. And surprisingly, it projects its influence 300 kilometers up into the stratosphere. It is a tower of wind, taller than the distance from London to Paris, spinning at 320 kilometers per hour. So, how does a fluid create a polygon? The answer lies in a phenomenon called a Rossby wave. Imagine a river of air, a jet stream, flowing eastward. On a rapidly rotating planet like Saturn, the Coriolis force is immense. It tries to twist the flow. Usually, these waves meander and break, like the high and low pressure systems on Earth. But Saturn has no solid land to disrupt the wind. No mountains, no continents. The friction is low. The wave creates a resonance. It creates a standing wave with exactly 6 lobes. It is a masterclass in fluid dynamics. The storm has found a mathematical equilibrium where the energy input perfectly balances the dissipation. It is trapped in a stable state. It cannot not be a hexagon. This creates a profound mystery. Look at Jupiter. It is a similar gas giant, yet its poles are a chaotic cluster of cyclones, octagons and pentagons of separate storms grinding against each other. But Saturn stands alone. It is the only planet we know of with a single, ordered, geometric polar boundary. While the hexagon is the wall, the center is the drain. Here, at the exact geographic North Pole, sits a polar vortex, a hurricane 50 times larger than any on Earth. If you were floating in a balloon here, you would look up to see the sun tracing a perfect circle overhead, never setting in summer, never rising in winter. This region is also a massive chemical factory. During the Cassini mission, we watched the hexagon change color. In the winter, stripped of sunlight, it was a deep, azure blue, clear of aerosols. But as the 7-year summer approached and sunlight hit the pole, ultraviolet light triggered photochemical reactions. Essentially, the storm creates smog, a golden haze of tholins and hydrocarbons, filling the hexagon like a bowl. In 2017, the Cassini spacecraft performed its grand finale. It dove into Saturn's atmosphere to protect the moons from contamination. In its final moments, it became part of the planet it studied. It left us with this final truth: the universe is not just chaotic. It is governed by laws so precise, so rigid, that even in the most turbulent winds of a gas giant, order emerges. The hexagon is a reminder that math is not an invention of the human mind. It is the language of the cosmos. And on Saturn, it is written in wind on a scale that defies belief.